Yeah, LTL true crime, we going deep in the dark. Yeah, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden mark. From the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL true crime, unraveling the web of evil. No stone left unturned, we dive into the prime. Yeah, we digging up the dirt, bringing justice to the crime. LTL true crime, unveiling dark realities every time. Yeah, LTL true crime, we going deep in the dark. Peeling back the layers, expose the hidden mark. From the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL true crime, go. People can live in the shine, but then I'm not talking about it in the soul. Porque tu piensas en mi voz, no pienso en la. No choice alone, we gotta hit that. Yeah, we hit that, better than running the boats. Yeah, I think real true crime. We go with dark realities every time. This is yeah, I think real true crime. We go with dark realities every time. Yeah, LTL true crime. We going deep in the dark. Yeah, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden mark. From the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL true crime. We going deep in the dark. Yeah, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden mark. From the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL true crime, we going deep in the dark. Yeah, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden mark. From the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi.
Going on, everybody. Welcome back to LTL True Crime. We are live here on this Monday, February 12th, 2023. I want to welcome everybody back into the live show. If you are watching live, we have a lovely chat here on YouTube. To the right-hand side of the screen, you can chat along with everybody there. I do appreciate it. If you're first here, make sure to subscribe and smash the like button. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure to smash that like button and leave a comment down below. So we are going to get into another one of these people that are just completely unhappy with themselves, that they have to make everybody's lives terrible and miserable around them before they decide to do just stupid things and either take themselves out or go out in what I call the blaze of glory. It's becoming an awful trend here in the United States. And there's just so many things that do surround topics like this. Obviously we have religion, we have a possibly a person that is, one of these protesters that are protesting against the Israeli-Palestine war right now. You have obviously guns that are involved. So you have Second Amendment right. What we're finding out is that this scumbag, we'll just call them a scumbag, legally did purchase this firearm. I'm a huge supporter of the Second Amendment. But it's like, how do we get control on these things? And I got to be very careful kind of what I talk about tonight here on YouTube, the words that I use. So I will, tend to get around some of it here and try to explain, how I feel about this. I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I have the feeling that everybody should have the right to bear arms, protect themselves. But we have a huge mental health crisis in this country. And we spend an awful lot of time and a lot of money on fighting everybody else's wars. And, that money that goes overseas could be used here in America to do something good for the people that need it. Mental health. We have a huge drug problem in the United States right now. We have a lot of homeless veterans that are on the streets. And I mean, don't think that this money that goes overseas, I mean, I don't even know what we've sent over to Ukraine at this time. I mean, it's probably over billions of dollars. You don't think that that money is not getting filtered through and handed out to people? Of course it is. And you don't think that some of that money is not going over there and then making its way back here to politicians to line their pockets? Absolutely. Absolutely. But why not use that money for something good here? Help people that need help here, mental health. Let's get drugs off our street, hard drugs off our street. We know about things that are going on at the southern border right now. It's just anybody can walk through. We don't know who's walking through right now. I mean, I was watching some videos on it the other day, and it was crazy. You know, just the amount of people that are literally just walking through right in front of Border Patrol. They're just walking through. We don't know who those people are. We don't know what kind of drugs they're bringing through here. What type of things that they're bringing here to hurt us. So a huge slew of situations here. Huge slew of situations. I know it can get political, but let's report on this and get caught up to speed as to what happened. Obviously, yesterday there was a shooting at Joel Osteen's Lakewood Megachurch, and we have finally identified the shooter that goes by the name of Genesse Moreno. I'm going to pull up a article here from CNN, and we have some videos, and then there was an updated press conference today. But as you know, what I like to do here is timeline everything. So we'll kind of go back to the situation as what happened yesterday, and then take us right up to current time. So thank you all for joining the show. I think it's important to go over this stuff. I think we should know about it, and we'll get a little bit into this here. So yesterday, this is from CNN. Shooter at Houston megachurch had lengthy criminal history, including weapons charges, police say. This is a problem that I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to the Second Amendment, to owning firearms. I don't know what and I understand because it's the whole HIPAA thing, but I think that we need to start waking up. And I don't think that even Second Amendment, I don't even think that gun owners would even have an issue with this. But the thing that we can't do, from my understanding in the law, is that we're not allowed to look at anybody's medical history, which would be their mental health. Why couldn't there be some kind of law that we make up that, let's just say that you've been diagnosed with a mental health issue that would be depression, whatever, anxiety, whatever, or just even any type of mental health issue that you have to literally take maybe medication or you've been under doctor's care for it. When you apply to purchase a gun, why could we not look at that and just say, yeah, over the last, and you give it a period of time, I don't know, a year, 3 years. Again, I don't know all the proper thing, but I'm just saying, if it pops up, maybe we don't want to these people purchase a firearm. Maybe. So again, I'm not going to solve all the world's problems here. I don't know what's best for the law. I'm very logical when I think of these things. Some people, probably a lot of people, are going to disagree with me here. I get that. It gets very political in these situations. But maybe that could be some countermeasure. I don't know. I don't know the right thing. Maybe you all know in the chat. Maybe you can tell me to shut up, or maybe you can say, hey, it's a great idea. But, it's interesting. A lot of this stuff is always mental health. And these people are just very unhappy with themselves. They have to make everybody unhappy around them by doing something horrible to kill people or hurt people. And then they end up hurting themselves, or they end up getting, going out on the blaze of glory is what I tend to call it. So anyway, let's go into this. Shooter at Houston megachurch had lengthy criminal history, including weapons charges, police say. From CNN, a woman walked into a popular Texas, which I believe is really a man, but they're identifying them as a woman now that we're finding out here. I'm going to be very careful today on YouTube. A woman who walked into a popular Texas megachurch Sunday afternoon with a long gun and her 7-year-old son opened fire before she was killed by law enforcement officers on scene. Thank God for those law enforcement officers, because this could have been very, very brutal. The gunfire left the child in critical condition and another man injured. Officials say, I believe the man has been released, but I believe the child is still in critical condition. Authorities now probing the shooter as a televangelist and pastor of Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church, roughly 6 miles from downtown Houston. And that's a big, huge church, by the way. The woman identified in the search warrant as Genesse Moreno, 36, entered the church shortly before 2 p.m., wearing a trench coat and backpack, and opened fire. Houston Police Chief Troy Finner said on Sunday afternoon news conference, officers shot and killed her in self-defense after she pointed her weapon at them. According to the search warrant released Monday by the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office, her son was shot in the head during the shooting and remains in the hospital Monday in critical condition. That's awful. The police chief said it's unclear who fired the shot that injured the child. CNN reached out to the police for more information. Police have not shared any details about the possible motive in the shooting. The injured man was shot in the leg, sought treatment at a hospital, and was released. Finner said Monday the search warrant identified him as Tom George Thomas. The gunfire unfolded while the church was in between services and preparing to go into a Spanish service, Osteen said on Sunday afternoon news conference. I can only imagine if it would have happened during the 11 o'clock service, he said. The shooting is just the latest instance of gun violence disrupting America, life at places considered safe. And keep in mind, this is Joe Biden's America. This is Joe Biden's America right now. This one was at a place of worship. Others have been at schools, grocery stores, outlet malls, hospitals, college campuses, and house parties. 2 off-duty law enforcement officers confronted the shooter. Moreno entered the church accompanied by her son. Once she entered, at some point, she began to fire, the chief said. One federal law enforcement source told CNN she fired around 30 rounds. 2 off-duty officers were present, a 28-year-old Houston Police Department officer and a 38-year-old agent with the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, both with less than 5 years of service. The 2 officers engaged the shooter, and she was struck. The police chief said she was pronounced dead at 2:07 p.m. Local time. The shooter used a legally purchased AR-15 with a Palestine. Now, I didn't hear it was just Palestine. I heard it was Free Palestine sticker. I could be wrong on that. And federal law enforcement sources previously told CNN Free Palestine was written on the gun. There we go. I heard the sticker was Free Palestine. She also had a .22 caliber weapon in her bag, which was not used in the attack. According to federal law enforcement services, investigators are trying to determine whether she was politically motivated or a disturbed individual, sources say. All right, let's go back up to here and let's play a little bit of this from.
A terrifying scene at one of America's biggest churches.
I started screaming, there's a shooter, there's a shooter, there's a shooter.
We hid about 10 of us, 10 adults in a closet. And
Good point, Captain.
there was one child in there.
Excellent
and no vent, but we were all praying.
An armed woman entered Pastor Joel Osteen's megachurch in Houston on Sunday afternoon and opened fire.
She was armed with a long rifle and a trench coat with a backpack.
I agree.
Accompanied by a small child, approximately 4 to 5 years old.
Houston's police chief Troy Finner says 2 off-duty law enforcement agents working security at the church confronted the woman, getting the situation under control.
She's deceased here on the scene. I want to commend those officers. She had a long gun, and it could have been a lot worse. But they stepped up and they did their job. And I want to thank them for that.
However, the child who came to the church with the woman was also shot.
Unfortunately, a 5-year-old kid was hit and is in critical condition at our local hospital.
The chief says it is unclear who fired the shot
good
that
point.
struck the child, and the child's relationship to the suspect is still unknown, according to police. The officers involved in the shooting told investigators the woman claimed to have a bomb, but an immediate search found nothing.
We searched her vehicle, our bomb squad, and also the backpack. No explosives were found, but she was also spraying some type of substance on the ground.
Witnesses described a chaotic scene.
My mom was screaming, and then my mom said, "Come, come," and we ducked because while I called my mom, the bullets were still repetitive and they were still going, and the attacks were in the sanctuary.
One bystander was injured.
That was a 57-year-old man who didn't have anything to do with it, I don't think. Was shot in the leg. He's seeking treatment in the hospital.
Pastor Osteen says he's thankful the shooting did not happen earlier in the day.
I can only imagine if it would have happened during the 11 o'clock service. If there's anything good of it, you know what? She didn't get in there and do a whole lot worse damage.
And he's left hoping the decades-old church will continue holding services without another scare like this.
We're going to stay strong. We're going to continue to move forward. And there are forces of evil, but the forces that are for us, the forces of God, are stronger than that.
You know, it's just, I think, I don't go to church. I'm not really a church guy. I wasn't really brought up in the church, but I did go at a very brief period of time when I was a kid. And, it's like church is supposed to be a very safe place. I mean, it's the place where you go to worship God, whatever God that is. If you go to a church, a synagogue, whatever it is, that is your sanctuary place. That's where you go to find peace in your higher power, if you believe in that. And it's just sad that, you can't even, you have to look over your shoulder now to go into a place of worship. You have to be looking around. You have to be always aware. I think that, and like your home, your home should be ultimately safe. Those should be the most safest places. I would say your home, and if you believe in God and you worship a God, then your church should be, or your place of worship, should be the most safest place as well too. And that's what I always say. I always constantly say this because I work out in the public, and I work with the public, and I just see a lot of things today that people don't do. People are just not cognizant of being aware of what's around them anymore. And I've talked about this a lot in some of my other streams. And it boils down to this, that I see, I don't know if this is like a new trend or a new generational thing, but everybody has their damn headphones in when they walk around now. Like, what do you need to do? You need to listen to music constantly, 24 hours a day. Like, you should be listening to the environment around you, because your body gives you audible cues or just feeling. You should be listening to your environment around you. People are crazy. Look at this situation. People are crazy. Look at the mall shootings. And I see that way too much. And I'm like, how could you ever hear anything if you have a very limited time to get out of an area and you have your fucking ear pods in because you got to listen to Taylor Swift when you're shopping, which is annoying. Why are you listening to music when you're fucking shopping? Take your ear pods out, listen to the environment around you, learn the vibrations of that environment. If something goes down, you're going to have those extra seconds, milliseconds, whatever, to react and get out of that situation. When I go out in any type of environment, if I'm ever outside or anything where there's a lot of people, I'm constantly surveying people and looking around. I want to know who's around me, who's in my environment. When I work, because I work in the public, I'm always dipping over my shoulder, looking. When I see someone come up beside me or behind me, I'm always looking over my shoulder. I want to know who the hell's around me all the time. People don't do that. And the thing that scares me is I see very young kids doing this now. Where the way our bodies are made and the way that our bodies grow and learn things is to have your eyes and ears open. It's why we have them. It's why we have eyes and ears, and to be able to see our surroundings and hear them and pick up on those audible cues or those visual cues. And the thing that I'm afraid of, and I see a lot of now, is parents giving their kids an iPhone and they have earphones in and they're just wandering around and they're not paying attention to anything because they're listening to music or whatever they're listening to. And to me, you're stifling the brain of learning that process of growing, learning your environment, reaction times, reflexes, sight, hearing, and it's just crazy. And that's why a lot of people don't know what to do in these types of situations, because they're not paying attention. And then it's too late. You either get hurt or the people, you can't get out, so I think that's just it's not a good thing. If you're out, you should know your environment. You should be looking around. You should be definitely paying attention. Okay, let's hear what happened inside that Lakewood church yesterday. I'm going to play this. This was captured of the gunfire. That Spanish.
M3missions.com
as it was changing to Spanish.
2024. Repito.
But I mean, I even look at this. Why are you there, dude? Go, run, get to an exit, save yourself. I mean, has no idea what's going on. Has no idea. I don't want to shit on people, but it's like, hello, it's something that I've never heard inside here. It's cracking fire. Could be a firecracker. Yes, could be something, but it's like, that's not a sound that I'm used to hearing in here. My brain would kick in and say, I need to go. Where's the exit? I need to get out of here, or I need to secure myself in a secured area, a room, about whatever it may be. Get away from the situation. Get out.
2024. Repito.
Okay. Let's go here. This was yesterday. We'll catch up a little bit here, and then we'll get to that press conference from today.
We're going to start with breaking news out of Houston. You just saw it there, a deadly shooting at Joel Osteen's church.
We've got Steve Pickett, who has been on the road today, live at Lakewood Church now, downtown Houston, with the update on the investigation tonight. Steve?
Well, the primary focus all day today after 2 o'clock, after all this happened, Doug, who and why. This woman walked in here, according to authorities, and opened fire, plain and simple, and could have hurt a lot of people. Unfortunately, there was one child who is critically injured. As you mentioned, that woman is dead. One other person also hit with this gunfire. It sent many of the congregants that were here inside Lakewood, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, who are typically here. Many of them sent running as a result of this gunfire. This is actual footage we saw this evening. Crime scene analysts, Houston police, DPS officials, all still inside this mega church this evening. They were obviously still working this scene, trying to process it, but no word from them late this evening on really sort of any updated information. We know that woman opened fire quickly, and she walked through this entrance here, apparently hiding a long gun under a coat. Many people actually have seen on social media by now the postings of hearing that gunfire as they were starting a Spanish service here. This was just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Houston's police chief describing the attack as one that had potential for more devastation. Woman walking to this sanctuary with a little boy. This child was 5 years of age, we are told. Two licensed peace officers working as church security, one with Houston police, the other an ATF agent. They returned fire.
She entered the building. She was armed with a long rifle and a trench coat with a backpack, accompanied by a small child, approximately 4 to 5 years old. Once she entered, at some point she began to fire. Both officers The officer and agent engaged, striking the female. She's deceased here on the scene. Unfortunately, the 5-year-old kid was hit and is in critical condition.
We don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control, and we're going to pray for that little 5-year-old boy and pray for the lady that was deceased.
The world knows the face of Joel Osteen, and today he had to face the rest of the world with something that has happened far too often in too many other places. This time at the entrance door here at Lakewood. No official information regarding the identity of this woman. All we were told, they believe she to be 30 to 35 years of age and had that 5-year-old little boy with her and a backpack and again that long gun. There was at least one other individual again who was inside. We were told hit in the hip or the leg. We believe to be a congregant here. No serious injuries for anyone else. And obviously, police and authorities here continue their investigation, hopefully to update exactly why this woman came here and prevented and created this kind of carnage emotionally and physically for so many. Reporting live, Steve Pickett, CBS News, Texas.
Crazy.
Yeah, one big question why still remains tonight. Steve, live for us in Houston. Thank you.
Wing Tight Governor Greg Abbott did release a statement not too long after the shooting today, and he writes, and quoting here, "Our hearts are with those impacted by today's tragic shooting and the entire Lakewood Church community in Houston. Places of worship," he says, "are sacred." Still plenty of unanswered questions, of course, at this point. Police have yet to release the suspect's identity or any possible motive. Stay with CBS News Texas online and also on air for all the latest updates.
All right, let's go to, I believe this is from People. USA Today. Police identified Genesse Moreno as the shooter at Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church. What we know. Texas police on Monday identified the alleged shooter killed by police at Joel Osteen's Megachurch, a 36-year-old Genesse Moreno, and a 7-year-old boy shot injured in the shooting is the Moreno's biological son. At approximately, 1:53 p.m. Sunday, Moreno, carrying an AR-15 rifle, pushed past a security guard and walked into a hallway at Lakewood Church with a boy and a Houston police department. The Houston Police Department said on Monday that, why are they pushing past security? And why is the security guard not jumping on this person, tackling them? So they literally just push past the security guard and just go in. Could we maybe have got a little bit more security from the security guard? Over the next 12 minutes, Moreno opened fire on the hallway, exchanged gunfire with two off-duty officers who provided security at the church, and was fatally injured, said Houston Police Department Commander Chris, I think it's Hassig. Multiple rounds were fired at Houston Police Chief Troy Feiner. The boy was injured by a single shot to the head. That's awful, police said, adding that they do not know who fired the shot and hit the boy. Moreno was confirmed dead at 2:07 p.m. The boy was taken to Texas Children's Hospital where he is in critical condition. What we need to do is pray. 57-year-old man. This is kind of just a lot of review we already went through. Authorities has not released the motive for the shooting. Let's see. Hassig said that Moreno had a mental health history documented by the department and family members, and added that they uncovered anti-Semitic writings linked to Moreno. Authorities also learned of a family dispute between Moreno and an ex-husband and some members of his family, who police said are Jewish. Here's what we know so far about the incident. Who is Genesse Moreno? Moreno used other aliases, including Jeffrey Escalante. Moreno was arrested back in 2005, according to the Texas Department of Safety Criminal History Search. Moreno was arrested in April of 2022 on a charge of unlawfully carrying a weapon, according to Fort Bend County Court website. Moreno pled guilty to the misdemeanor in October of the same year. 2010, Moreno was arrested on charges of forgery, marijuana possession, and evading arrest, court records say. A year earlier, Moreno was accused of assaulting a public servant with later pled guilty to a lesser charge, according to the text. So we're allowing people that have assault records and criminal records, okay, to purchase weapons. Sounds good. Moreno, who is from El Salvador, worked in real estate, according to the LinkedIn page. Shots fired just before service. The gunfire rang out before a Spanish language service was set to start at a 16,000 seat venue. Wow. Which formerly served as a sports arena. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Jesus. Croak. Videos from inside the building showed a frenzy, with many churchgoers running from exits while others took cover behind their seats. It could have been a lot worse. Moreno claimed to have a bomb. The Houston Police Bomb Squad searched Moreno's vehicle and backpack and found no explosives, despite Moreno claiming to have a bomb. Witnesses reported seeing Moreno spray some type of substance on the ground before opening fire. In Houston Police Chief Samuel Pena said, "We have not found anything of concern to our community or to this location." On Sunday, said he swept the church for being conducted to ensure that there was no threat. Officers have been placed on administrative duty. That's pretty typical. It gives them time to get to recover and get mental health counseling if they need that. We don't understand why this happened. All right, let's go to the alert when they identified the shooter. Here we go. Fox News.
The police have identified the person who opened fire at Joel Osteen's Megachurch in Houston yesterday. William Lajeunesse is on this for us. William, what exactly are we learning?
So we just got a hold of the search warrant and can confirm that the shooter is identified as a 36-year-old Genesse Moreno. She had been born a man, Jeffrey Escalante, from El Salvador, and has a lengthy criminal record. Now, according to the search warrant from Montgomery County, she pointed an AR-15.
She has a YouTube? Mary, do you have links to the YouTube? Let's play it.
15 at the officers, off-duty officers who were in the church at the time, and they fired upon her, killed her, and was considered in
Do you have the link, Mary?
Also,
drop it.
There was word that the woman had claimed that she had a bomb and she had a backpack. They checked that out. Turned out it wasn't true, but according to the search warrant, she was in possession of a yellow color rope.
Awesome.
And substances consistent with the manufacture of explosives. They thought that was a detonation cord. They looked into it and it turned out not to be the case. We're also hearing from local reports that the 5-year-old who was with this woman is likely
Michael.
not
very,
to make
very
it.
true.
The 5-year-old boy has been in critical condition, and according to the Houston Chronicle, it doesn't appear that individual is going to make it. A 57-year-old man was also shot in this altercation at Lakewood Church there in Houston, which of course is operated by celebrity pastor Joel Osteen. That individual, the 57-year-old man, he's going to be okay. He was shot in the leg. But the information we're getting now,
biological
we've
mother
seen,
of the child. Yep.
a lengthy criminal record on this individual. Again, as a man, he had a lengthy record of assaulting a police officer.
Let me go back up to this. Tsunami, isn't he the one when they were having the Texas floods that wouldn't allow people to go inside his church? Didn't he block people? What are you confused about, Sarah? Maybe I can help you clear it up. Yes, he was the one that told people they couldn't come into the church, right? And they were literally flooded out. Kimberly said confused here. First they say boy is her biological son, and then they say she was a man. So it was and I'm trying to be very sensitive here to YouTube, was a transgendered man transitioning to a woman, or was transitioned to a woman, from my understanding. So yeah, it gets very, very confusing. Right. Yeah, shooter was born a female. Shooter was born a female. I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was a male transitioning into a female. Other way around. Got it. Thank you. So SA says, I'm trying to be as sensitive as well. When she became a parent, she may have been a man. So, oh, cool. Look at this. We have the YouTube. I'll pull that up. Aha. We can play some videos here. Thank you for that, Mary. But let's go to this first, and then we'll play those videos.
Marijuana. Also, I've got a lengthy record here of several different offenses over the past since 2005. So that's what we got from here. And
I got it,
conference
Mary.
is
Thank
scheduled
you.
to begin at 2:30 Eastern, and we should get more information.
Yeah, among the most serious, the 2009 assault of a police officer in
Male
Houston,
to female,
William,
thank you.
2010 forgery, most
I get
recently
confused.
2022, a misdemeanor weapons charge for unlawful carrying a weapon. William Lajeunesse, as you mentioned, 2:30, we're going to need an update from the police there, and we'll certainly take that live. Did you have something to add?
Well, no, just only on the AR-15, he had
Of
written,
course.
scrawled.
YouTube already dinged me.
Yes, a big and growing part of that story. And William, we have the picture now of
Probably
the
get
suspect up on the
demonetized on this
screen.
one.
Yeah, and when we're going to get we have 5 of those photos that we're loading right now into the computer system. But when you look at the progression of this individual over the last 5 or 6 years, definitely had a pretty hard life, because there's a great transformation from the first photos from the mugshots that were taken to the one you're seeing right now.
So born as Jeffrey Escalante Moreno, goes by the alias Genesse Moreno. We're going to have more on this when the police update at 2:30. Thank you, William.
No, so it was born a male, transitioning to a woman. Let's see what this let's see, individual had to say. I have the YouTube channel. Let's play some of the YouTube videos. Here we go. Genesse Moreno. What do we got?
Hello, everyone. My name is Genesse Moreno, and I don't know if you guys can see me, but I am here on the beach having fun and making money, because that's what I like to do. And I have an open house here here in Galveston, and it's located 4 houses down from the beach. So literally, I am a minute away from my open house, and it's locked for now. But I am having this theme going on, and I'm painting a picture by the sea, and I am enjoying every minute of it. You see my picture? I've only done the sky so far. I'm just having fun, and I have my sign over here. I have my open house sign because, I'm here on the beach. There's so many people here, and they're not going to come by my open house. So I figure, why not I go to them? So that is what I'm doing here, and hopefully I can pick up some buyers. I already have a scheduled appointment between 5 and 6 for another house that's really maybe 2 minutes away from the open house I'm holding right now. And hopefully we put in a contract on that. That would be awesome. But, as of now, this is what I'm doing. I am having fun and making money. And as you see, I am working. I have my flyers, and I'm just here. All right, guys. Well, again, my name is Genesse Moreno, and if you're looking to invest, to buy property out in Galveston, anywhere, just let me know, because I would like to be the person to help you find the perfect home. Thank you.
All right, that's one. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's go to... We made a lot of videos. Let's see. 9 years ago. Let's play this one.
Hey there, my name is Genesse, sold by Genesse Moreno. Well, I am not really sure on how or what to talk about on these videos. All I know is that I need to keep you guys updated on what I'm doing. Well, today is, the weekend, Memorial Weekend. I am working with a client out here in Galveston. So for the past 2-3 months, I've decided to expand myself into Bay properties and look for properties out, here in Galveston, see what is it that I can do for clients. Also, there's many bilingual clients out here that need assistance, and well, I am bilingual, and I would like to help all of you guys moving from other places into our Bay Area. Well, it's not really that much, I must say. I am a really truthful agent, and I like to speak the truth. And
Well, that's to confuse the truth.
I must say, our beach is not the
That's
best,
why.
but
Confuse the truth.
the real estate market is hot out here, and that's why I am out here today. I'm looking for a condo. Not really sure exactly where on the beach, but I am pretty much out here today, and I just might as well let you guys know that Galveston is full of seaweed. People are still out here going and getting in the water. Me, I'm just catching the sun here in a little time, and pretty much working from this chair that you see me laying on right now. I am on my mobile heart app.
All right, I don't need to keep watching that. Let's see. Anything else interesting here? Open house condo. Let's see.
Welcome to my open house. It is May 31st, 2014.
Yeah,
And I
caught
am
that too,
holding an
Kathy.
open house here in Galveston on Broadway.
Well, it's my understanding it's a male to female transition. That's my understanding. Because they said born Jeffrey.
From the sea wall, but it's not that far. It's pretty much only like 5 minutes away from the seawall. Right over here, it's our kitchen. I have a few snacks here. I hope people come by. Straightforward, straight ahead. We come in.
Yeah, male to female.
To
Yep.
the dining.
That's what I thought too.
Formal dining. Let me back away a little bit. So we have it right over here. This would be our living room right here. Open kitchen. Right over here, we have our balcony. And the view is nice.
I don't know if I want to hear that all the time.
There's
Holy
my son.
smoke. Can you imagine listening to that all the time? I'll tell you, I lived, when I moved from Massachusetts in 2015, I moved out to Connecticut. I took a job out there for about 3 years. And literally the place I was renting was literally 20 feet from 95. So I heard I heard trucks all the time, cars all the time. I heard the traffic all the time. But I will say this, after a while, you tend to kind of get used to it because you just kind of tune it out. But it was funny. I can remember, if I forgot what day of the week it was, just by the volume of traffic, Wednesdays seemed to be very busy for some reason, especially the trucks, because they're running back and forth to from New York and all that stuff. But Wednesday nights, I could always remember when it was a Wednesday night because there was so many tractor trailers driving by. It was pretty crazy. I remember one time too, literally on Halloween, I think it was 2016, on Halloween, all of a sudden I'm upstairs, I hear like truck pulling over to the side of the road, slamming the brakes on. You hear all the air popping off, and all of a sudden I look out my bedroom window and I could oversee the highway. And before I looked out the window, I just saw an orange glow. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I look out and the truck is on fire. Like the whole cab is engulfed. And I'm like, truck's on fire, diesel fuel in those tanks. I need to get the fuck out of here. So I get in my car, hightail it down the road, but before I get ready to jump in my car, like one of the tanks friggin' blow open. I don't know if it was an air tank. I don't think it was a fuel tank because it would have been a huge explosion. But dude, the concussion, like the concussiveness from that, oh my God, like I could feel it in my chest. And like, I don't know, like a couple hours after that, I just felt like weird, like just felt like out of it because from the pressure of the blast. And I remember like just getting in my car and hightailing up the road. All my neighbors around me literally got in their cars and like drove up the road. And finally the fire department came out and put it out. But it was pretty crazy. So a lot of accidents. I heard a lot of accidents right around where I was. So all right, let's keep I think I don't need to see any more of this, but let's get back onto the news story here. I think this is from Fox News. Let's check this out. News Nation. Here we go.
Was a familial dispute that has taken place between her ex-husband and her ex-husband's family, and some of those individuals are Jewish. So we believe that might possibly be where all of this stems from.
Authorities credit those two responding officers from preventing a bigger tragedy. Lakewood Church houses one of the nation's biggest congregations. It is about 6 miles from downtown Houston and the former home of NBA Houston's Rockets.
And also where I lived, once a month, because I lived near a nuclear power plant, they would always have a test, and you could literally hear it. And we had to have, where I lived, we had to have iodine pills at our house because if there was ever a meltdown, you would have to take iodine and get the hell out of there. It's crazy stuff. There's a lot of nuclear stuff in Connecticut for some reason.
And as many as 45,000 people regularly attend services there. Joining us now is Jennifer Coffindaffer, News Nation Law.
Oh, everybody's favorite.
And a former
everybody's favorite
FBI
Let's see
agent.
what the Coffindaffer has to say.
Jennifer, good to have you here. I'm not sure. We just heard from that news conference that they're examining the fact that she had Palestine and Free Palestine on her rifle.
I love you guys.
And that members of her extended family were Jewish, but she's in
this is a really crazy situation. Ready? Or yeah.
Christian church. I'm not getting this. What do you have any idea what might be going on?
Well, definitely when you have a rifle that says Palestine on it, especially with all the things going on worldwide, we in the Bureau call that a clue. I think also the fact is they mentioned that she was in this huge custody battle with her in-laws, and they are of Jewish descent. You put that all together, and this certainly makes a lot of sense to me. Now, the fact that she's at a Christian church, I did see where she made a donation to this church in the past and was familiar with this church. So to me, it was all about making a statement.
And why would she bring her child, her 7-year-old son, when she had 2 rifles hidden under a coat and obviously a plan to shoot up the place?
I think it was definitely one to serve as a ruse. In other words, for her to easily get in. She did have a trench coat on, so she might have looked at a place. But with a mother, with a child, you're more at ease in terms of security. And then also, I mean, God forbid, but was it supposed to be some kind of shield, maybe that if somebody did engage her, that she could use the child? We don't know yet who actually ended up killing the child or hurting the child, but that was possibly also a reason.
All right. We know that there was a documented mental health history. She had reportedly been involuntarily hospitalized for psychiatric reasons. We also know she had a criminal history. So how did she have 2 rifles?
Well, she shouldn't have had 2 rifles. This, again, is just another situation where the bureaucracy is not matching up with the people that they're issuing guns to. People should not be able to get these guns, and there needs to be a big look at the mental illness issues that go on for people who trying to get a gun. There's a huge lapse in that communication.
Yeah. So we know that the 7-year-old child, her son, the 7-year-old boy, her son, is in the hospital now fighting for his life.
Awful.
Tell me what FBI agents and police authorities, local police will be doing based on your FBI, history.
It's so good
What
to
are the
see
next
Dr.
steps in
Bob
this
back.
investigation? Tracking down
I
how
hope
she
you're
got the
feeling better.
weapons, scrubbing her social media accounts to try and
Look at that
figure out
dog.
any possible motive?
They're certainly going to be doing that, but
Isn't that the cutest dog? Look at that dog. It's the cutest dog.
they will start with that event, right? So they're going to be looking at all the video. They want to have a timeline of exactly how that day's events began and how she got there. All those details are going to be important. They're serving search warrants. They're going to want everything to do with her phones, as well as any residents that she's connected to. In addition, they're going to be interviewing all the witnesses in and around her, family members. And we
Oh,
also
good.
know
I'm
that they
glad.
have some writings of hers. And I would bet those writings are going to lead to a motive.
Yeah, we do know that apparently the writings appear to be anti-Semitic in nature.
Of course.
Yes, I think that this is going to be part of the motive. And again, we know that there might be a mental health issue here, but recall most mass shooters don't have a mental health issue. They have a proximal event that happens in their life that leads them to an explosive action such as this. And that,
Well,
I
wouldn't that
think,
be called
is
a
her
mental
thinking
health
she might
issue?
lose her children, Elizabeth.
And what are rules and laws
Wait a minute.
in the state?
I gotta go back. Hang on here. Hang on. Let's back up here. Doesn't have a mental health issue, but no, they have something that comes in. Yeah, wouldn't that be called a mental health issue? Wait a minute.
That leads them to an
Wait a
explosive,
minute.
be a mental health issue here.
Let's go.
Part
Let's go back here a second. Let's see this.
Semitic in nature.
Immediately.
Yeah, we do know that apparently the writings appear to be anti-Semitic in nature.
Yes, I think that this is going to be part of the motive. And again, we know that there might be a mental health issue here, but recall most mass shooters don't have a mental health issue.
What? What? You don't think that someone wants to go out and shoot a bunch of people? That's not a mental health issue? What? Most mass shooters don't have a mental health issue? Can someone help me out here? I'm lost. I would think that if you want to do something like that, that would be a mental health issue. You have a mental health issue. No normal person says, you know, I'm just going to go into a church and start shooting a bunch of people up. Doesn't make any sense. I got to go back and hear that again. I don't know. I can't believe my ears. Hang on.
I think that this is going to be part of the motive. And again, we know that there might be a mental health issue here, but recall most mass shooters don't have a mental health issue. They have a proximal event that happens in their life that leads them to an explosive action such as this.
So wouldn't you call that a mental health issue? They have an explosive situation that happens that leads to something like this. That's a mental health issue. It's a breakdown. Wait a minute. I got to hear that again.
I think that this is going to be part of the motive. And again, we know that there might be a mental health issue here, but recall most mass shooters don't have a mental health issue. They have a proximal event that happens in their life that leads them to an explosive action such as this. And that, I think, is her thinking she might lose her children, Elizabeth.
And what are rules and laws in the state of Texas? I mean, I know that a lot of people are gun owners. A lot of people are peaceful gun owners in the state of Texas. What are the laws, though, around somebody who has been involuntarily committed to a psychiatric institute or has been convicted of a crime, although it doesn't appear that she was convicted of a felony?
Well, Texas recently moved to a constitutional carry state. So as far as gun ownership, it's constitutional carry, and that makes everything much looser. But the issue is, when did she purchase these weapons? When did it happen in regard to her mental issues that she's been having and those records? So the police have a lot to look at here, but it seems to
Exactly.
me
That's what I was
something fell
saying.
by the
That's a
wayside.
mental health
Thanks so much
issue.
for watching. Go to
That's a mental health issue when you just snap and explode. That's something that's building inside of you. That's an issue. Jeez, holy crow. All right, let's get into this presser from today. Let's get some updates here. By the way, if you were following my stream on Nicholas Rossi, was speaking of a gentleman, Brian Coogan, that was in one of the stories that was reporting that knew Nicholas. I have got in touch with Brian Coogan. I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow and hopefully get him on the show for him to talk about Nicholas because he knew him really well. And I want to hear what he has to say. Tell us about Nicholas's life in Providence and how he basically made his way around the Providence political scene, and then his thoughts on this Arthur Knight. Is it really Nicholas Rossi, Arthur Knight? So I will be having an update on that. Hopefully I can get Brian over here on the show. He was very nice to me. He reached out. He said, hey, anything you need here, I can help you out. So I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow and hopefully get him on the show. I think it's going to be a really interesting yes, speaking of mental health, exactly. I think it's going to be a really interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to speed up a little bit here. Let's go to this gentleman right here.
Probably just summarize everything that everybody's saying up here briefly, and then we'll go to a question and answer.
I was going to do the Rossi stream tonight, but I knew this was fresh and I wanted to cover it. But I'll probably do the Rossi stream either tomorrow or Wednesday, and then we'll get Brian over for like a 3-part episode. And I'd love to hear, what he has to say on that. It's definitely a story that I'm going to continue to follow because Rossi's due back in court on in March, I believe on the 5th, which is the day that Brian Walsh is going to be back at court. And I'm actually going to go to that court date when Brian Walsh goes to court, because he will be out in Dedham. So I will be following that and doing some more streams. And I have a stream lined up. I'm going to get Sean over here for it. And I want to talk about police procedure and kind of compare the Walsh case to Karen's case. And I think that's going to be a great stream to have Sean and do that. It's just a matter of me laying out all the material for it. I have the idea for the stream. I got to get Sean kind of plugged into it, but I want to get him over for that. I think it's going to be a really great stream to kind of compare and contrast those two investigations, because we know who's the common factor in those investigations, who was the common detective in those investigations, Proctor. So and we talked a little bit about this on Melanie's stream. It's amazing how the details that are in such Brian Walsh's and all the Google searches are there and the timeline and everything is such to perfection. But that all that information gets left out in Karen Reed's case. It's very strange, but it's something that we're definitely going to get into that. So let's pull this up here and play through it.
Also want to acknowledge the director of DPS, Gerald Brown, is here. Thank you. And also Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, and our district attorney Kim Ogg is here as well. And if I missed out on somebody, you let me know.
Yeah, I saw that.
A lot of work has been conducted and just since yesterday, and a lot of things are still going on. We will not be able to answer every question. Information that we do have,
I'm gonna speed this up.
We'll share it with you, communicate.
So, but the purpose of my briefing here today is just to allay some of the fears that may be out there in regards to any possible exposure to chemicals that may or may not have been present at the scene. As we mentioned yesterday, in collaboration with the Houston Police Department's bomb squad, our hazmat task force and decontamination task force were on scene conducting tests on any of the products that may have been at the location. The tests were completed. The preliminary tests were completed on scene. I can safely say that there is no risk of exposure to any chemical or product that may have been present to anybody that was at the facility, at the church, any of the first responders, anybody that came in contact or in the general vicinity, and certainly no danger to our community in terms of any hazmat products. The products on their own are benign, and they're common products that we would see in other applications. So I want to make sure that we communicated that to our community. There was no...
Oh, what happened here?
And we're going to continue
Freeze on the video,
our partnership
not me.
with
I'm like, what's
law
going on?
enforcement. Certainly my partner in public safety, Troy Finner, and his team, until we complete this investigation. So turn it back to you, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you. FBI SAC Special Agent in charge, Williams. Got you. Got you. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. I'd first like to start by thanking all of the partners who are here today for a seamless response to the incident yesterday. Good afternoon. My name is Doug Williams. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Houston field office. Unfortunately, we've always said that it's not a matter of if an active shooter event will occur in our city, but when. That when was Sunday afternoon, just before a service at one of the largest congregations, not just in Houston or Texas.
You know what I really hate about these situations when they happen? That law enforcement and the media tends to hold back all of this information. I think it would be good for a public service of everybody to know what goes on in these situations, to know what goes on inside the heads of all these awful people. I think still to today, the Tennessee shooter, there's still information that is being held back in that. And, you know, it's been I think over a year or longer in that case. And there's still information being held back from the public. We need to know about these situations, what type of people are doing this. And, you know, it helps us raise awareness in our communities, And it's silly. You know, that we need to know who these people are and who's doing this and the red flags that we need to look for. Again, yeah, Janet, you're right. It is political, you know, but it's pretty sad that we hold out on a political belief where it could save lives, to give that information out to communities, to put that in a collective, I don't know, report or some type of informational video or something to put this out to the public and say, hey, look, you know, these are the people that you need to look out for. It's incredible. It's incredible how much information gets held back in these situations. And it's pretty sad.
But in the United States, we are extremely thankful for the quick response of the two officers working security at the church at the time that engaged the shooter. I think all of us here would agree that if it weren't for them, the number of casualties and victims would have been much higher. There is no doubt that their heroic actions saved lives. The FBI has been assisting our partners at the Houston Police Department with the investigation of the shooting at Lakewood Church since it immediately happened. We'll continue to assist them for as long as needed. The FBI is working with HPD to follow all logical investigative leads related to the shooting. As the chief just said, it's way too early to determine a motive for the shooter's actions, and we're not in the business of speculating. Our work is based on facts and evidence, and we're still in the process of collecting those facts and evidence. That process will take time. It is very common for the FBI to provide support to partner law enforcement agencies during an active shooter incident and in the immediate aftermath of a shooting. The FBI has an arsenal of local and national resources at our disposal that we can deploy. These include technical resources as well as personnel resources such as agents, investigative analysts, evidence response teams, victim service specialists, just to name a few. Yesterday, we deployed all of those resources and will continue to support HPD for as long as it's needed. In the meantime, if anyone has information about Sunday's shooting at Lakewood Church that they'd like to share, we'd ask that you please contact the Houston Police Department and share the lead, as they are the lead investigative agency. Again, the FBI is assisting, and we will continue to assist our partners here for as long as needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. JBC Director Kevin Lilly. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief. I'm Kevin Lilly, Chairman of the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. First, I'd like to offer my sincere condolences to the congregation of Lakewood Church and to Greater Houston. As the mayor said, our places of worship are both sacred and safe. And
everybody
all
needs
Texans
to know.
grieve what happened at Lakewood Church yesterday. And indeed, when the sanctity of a church is violated, or any house of worship, that is an attack on the very foundation of this.
I'm gonna go to I think this guy's the guy that actually gave the update when I was scanning through like the actual timeline. So we're gonna speed up a little bit here.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
I'm Christopher Hassig, Commander, HPD Homicide, also leader of our Special Investigations Unit, last name HASSIG. I just want to talk about the investigative steps, where we're at, what we've accomplished so far,
what I wanted to hear,
and what we're going to be doing moving forward. All right. Please be mindful. We are approximately 24 hours into this investigation. It's very fluid, and the investigators under my Special Investigations Unit have been working around the clock and gathering information this entire time. So Sunday, yesterday, February 11th, at 13:53, at 1:53 p.m., we had an individual pull up in front of Lakewood Church on the west side of the building off of Timmons. She gets out of her white vehicle. She opens the door. He pulls out the 7-year-old child out of the back seat, as well as a bag that is with her. She confronts a security guard who lets her in along the west side of the building.
Wait a minute here.
At 13.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. So you confront a security guard and then they let you in. So I want to know how that security guard was confronted. Was it a verbal? Was it pushed out of the way? You know, I want to hear more about that. Was it an argument? Why wasn't anybody called? And then remember, this individual had almost 12 to 13 minutes to fire inside that facility. Held the gun. Sure. But 13 minutes.
1:55 p.m. She immediately starts firing inside of the hallway on the west side of Lakewood Church. She's in the hall, not in the sanctuary. Multiple rounds are fired by her, at which point Officer Moreno of the Houston Police Department, working an approved extra job at the location, as well as TABC
Moreno,
agent
this
Herrera,
name is Moreno,
return fire, and the exchange is all there on the west side of the building, in the hallway. Multiple shots are exchanged by all three. She eventually falls to the ground. The 7-year-old child falls to the ground as well from gunfire, one gunshot wound to the head. Like has been mentioned earlier today, he is in critical condition at this time.
Sad.
And at 2:07 p.m., she is pronounced deceased by Houston Fire Department personnel. Other things that we know at this point in regards to the investigation. Our shooter is identified by driver's license as Genesse Moreno, 36 years old, Hispanic female. There are some discrepancies. We do have reports. She used multiple aliases, including Jeffrey Escalante. So she has utilized both male and female names, but through all of our investigation to this point, talking with individuals, interviews, documents, Houston Police Department reports. She has been identified this entire time as female, she, her, and so we are identifying her as Genesse Moreno, Hispanic female.
But that's still
There were 2 weapons of hers recovered.
So I'm confused. Everybody else confused? I'm confused. Still confused. So now we get into the sensitivity of who's who and what's what. Someone that wanted to walk into a church and kill everybody, we have to be sensitive to their needs. This is insane. This is what we've turned into in this world. Why not just identify what the person is, who they are? What is so hard about that?
Covered on the scene, and Anderson.
So is it so I'm confused. Was she born a male and transitioned to a female, or was she born a female and was always a female? Because now hasn't been reported that she was trans? Confused. Super confused.
In manufacturing AR-15, which was what she utilized to fire at the officers. There was a sticker on the buttstock of the rifle that stated Palestine.
Born female, but used male
simply
name.
stated Palestine on the buttstock. Also within the possession of her, near her, what she brought in, according to the video, and she had in a bag, was a .22 caliber rifle by Blue Line Solutions.
But do you think this is a time that we really need to be PC? Just say what it is. Just put it out there, you know?
She had that. She brought that in. She did not fire that weapon. We do have her vehicle. We are in possession of that. We will be processing that and see if there is more evidence. We want to thank our federal and state partners for their assistance in helping process the scene.
Always got to sugarcoat it.
We
Protect
have
the
uncovered
psychos, you know?
some items. We do have some anti-Semitic writings that we have uncovered during this process. But like I said, we are 24 hours into it. It is very new. We are getting new information as the hours change. And so we are going to be delving into that more. But we do want to stress that she acted alone. We do believe this was what we term a lone wolf, lone suspect situation. We do not believe this is part of a larger nexus. She is not part of a larger group or set of individuals. We believe that Genesse Moreno acted alone. We do have some facts that she was put under an emergency detention order by Houston police officers, we believe in 2016. We do believe that she does have a mental health history that is documented through us and through interviews with family members. And we do want to state that through our investigation, I mentioned anti-Semitic writing. We do believe that there was a familial dispute that has taken place between her ex-husband and her ex-husband's family, and some of those individuals are Jewish. So we believe that that is might possibly be where all of this stems from. We ask anybody with information to please call the Houston Homicide Department 713-308-3600 or Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS, TIPS, if they have any information regarding Miss Moreno or anything that could assist us with this investigation.
Thank you very much. We'll hold questions until we translate, and then we'll get everybody at once. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. So how long does everybody's think that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is going to last? Does anybody put any money on it? I don't even think it's going to last more than 3 more weeks. 3 more weeks, I give it. I give it 3 weeks. What do you all? You can put it in the chat. What do y'all think? I say 3 weeks. Months, a week. And I'll tell you, I don't know. And again, I'm not gonna, and I heard this all around the socials. A lot of the socials were speaking today, pushing Andy Reid, the coach. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of a red flag. I'm sure her handlers are going, red flag, red flag, red flag. Because if you're pushing someone like that and screaming, I don't know. Just saying. Not accusing anybody of anything, but just saying. Just saying. What do we got here? Let's go back to.
Well.
Yeah, Commander, I want to thank you for what you do for all of us and the community. Let me say this before we open up for questions. A lot of people in this room.
Question about
Relative, and I think it's been confirmed that is the biological.
All right.
between the
Or possibly pointed a weapon, but we ask you to respect the process. It's easier that way.
Here's
Okay,
some
go ahead, sir.
questions from the audience.
ABC 13.
Hey,
You,
Kevin.
your main investigator, mentioned that she got past a security guard on the west side of the building. Was there some sort of lapse of security that allowed her to get in the building? Was she not properly checked like a metal detector?
No, we're not saying that at all. I think specifically she displayed or possibly pointed a weapon at that security officer and kind of forced her way in. So not saying a security breach at all, and that's an important question. We want to acknowledge the security that they had around the church that day and all the days. Go ahead.
Can you talk, sir, about the relationship between the suspect and the 7-year-old fighting for their life?
I'll let the investigator say a few words on it, but we do believe it's a relative, and I think it's been confirmed that is the biological mother. And if I'm correct on that, and that it's the biological mother. Okay.
We have a question about
Go ahead.
the gun, the weapon. This might be also a special agent in charge. We understand that she had a previous criminal background that showed she had a misdemeanor charge for a weapon that was taken away from her, and that the FBI also made question about a possible weapon she was going to purchase in 2023. How was she able to get a hold of these weapons?
That's part of the investigation, and he can speak to that if you want really quickly. But that's the challenges that we have, and that's what law enforcement talk about all the time. We need to make sure everything is tight, and we're not people standing up here against Second and Right Amendments, but people who are suffering from mental illness, criminals, and yes. So we're looking at that, and if you want to add to it, you're okay. Yeah, go ahead. Come on.
I don't really have anything to add. I think it's we're in the infancy stages of this. I completely understand. We want to know the motive, how she got the weapon, why she did this. We're not there yet.
If and when the FBI does make an inquiry about weapons that are going to try to be purchased by someone who has a mental health issue and a criminal background, what do you do with that information then afterwards?
So when that information comes through, the FBI will receive it, and then we share that with our local partners. Yes.
Chief,
Yes, go ahead.
was it clear how much ammunition the suspect was carrying amongst those two rifles?
I think we're still working through it, but can I say multiple rounds of ammunition?
Well, Mary just sent me a mugshot, and Mary says, born female, identifies sometimes as male. This was a screenshot from a Facebook post prior to an arrest. And it says female, sex female, but probably used, probably maybe dressed as a male to con people. So I don't think it was really a transgender situation. I think just maybe just using the male identity to con people.
Multiple rounds were fired, but just 24 hours into it, I don't want to give you a definitive answer. Multiple rounds, multiple rounds fired. Go ahead, and we'll work our way to the back. Go ahead, Mario. Yeah.
Christian Moreno, is that the officer for HPD that returned fire?
Yes, Christopher Moreno, and we'll be sending that information out to y'all. And I don't want to speak for my TABC, but we'll get that out sometime pretty soon.
Yeah,
go
not
ahead.
trans.
Morenos, is there any relation here? Just want to make sure.
No,
No. Now do we know of?
Question now with regards to, I need a clarification. Now my question.
One more and that's it. There's a lot of people in this room. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mario. Go ahead.
Thank you for the
Okay.
transparency. We really appreciate it.
All right.
I got it at 1:53. He arrives, or she arrives on.
Exactly,
she arrives at
Rochelle.
1:53. 207
Right.
declared dead by HPD. How
That's
long
right.
before there was gunfire engaged, and how long did that gun exchange last?
The shooting began almost instantaneous upon her entering the building, which roughly 1:55. Takes her a little over a minute to get in after talking with the security guard. The firing commences right after that. There's a few minute gun battle, for lack of a better term. They're exchanging gunfire, and she is down. And then our officers followed their tactical training. They linked up. They talked about a game plan.
Well, I gotta say this, and I'm trying not to make light of the situation. I'm kind of glad that this person is a terrible shot, because only one guy got hurt. Well, two people got hurt. They're not sure how the little boy received the gunshot to the head, but only an older male got shot in the, I think it was 57 or 58 years old, only got shot in the back of the leg, was treated at the hospital and released. So, that's a good thing out of all this too. Terrible shot, which was great. And then those two officers engaged anyway and neutralized the situation. So
approached the body. Somebody else pulled the 7-year-old to safety. And so all of this transpired within a matter of less than 12 minutes.
And we'll get a timeline a little bit later. Let me get you some more questions. Go ahead.
Why Lakewood Church? It's a long way from Conroe where she lived.
I can't speculate for her. That's part of the investigation. But it could be any place of worship. And as I said earlier, and I want us to kind of get this. It could be any location. Bad people or people or individuals suffering from mental illness and with guns. We need to all look out for them.
Those family members she was in a dispute with, though, did they attend services there?
No, not at all. Go ahead, and then we'll work our way back.
I know, but that chief is yoked, man. He's jacked.
Say that one more time. I'm very sorry. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, go ahead. Come up, Hector.
Bueno, afortunadamente en esta ciudad tenemos muchas organizaciones que pueden darle ayuda a esos individuos que necesitan hablar con alguien o hay alguna ayuda psiquiátrica o psicológica. Hay muchas organizaciones, inclusive me imagino que ahorita la misma iglesia está tratando de ayudar a las personas que atienden esa iglesia de ese tipo de ayuda. Okay.
One in back and then work our way in the front and over there too. Go ahead. How you doing?
As an extension of the why Lakewood question, referencing the writings that you talked about, Commander Hassick, was there anything in those writings that stipulated a desire for acting out against specific people?
Part of the investigation.
Nothing at this specific moment. We don't have anything that pops out. Again, we're reviewing all of those writings, but nothing that stands out at this time.
Commander,
No, go ahead. All right.
Just real quick,
Yeah.
about security measures at the church, we're told that we heard that you may have tried to get into a classroom full of students.
I'm not sure that's part of the investigation, and I forgot to address this. Yesterday, there was a question about a body worn camera. Our officers did have body worn cameras, so a part of this investigation is going through that, plus the security camera. So I really don't want to speculate right now, but we will be transparent as more information comes in over here on the corner, and then we'll get to you. Yes, go ahead.
Commander, based on your preview of the information you just provided, what did she say? What did she? You guys have camera information, et cetera, et cetera. What did the woman say to that security guard at all, if anything at all?
I mean, it's still under investigation. She displayed a weapon, and we're going to re-interview the security guard, but she had a rifle, and it was pointed at her, and she was unarmed.
I'm gonna get you too. Go ahead.
No, they were
and then
off
we'll
duty,
work our way
Michael.
over here. Did I leave anybody?
Is there any element to label this as a hate crime?
We don't want to jump ahead of that. I think it's very important that we don't. As a society right now, we want to group different people for different reasons.
Jacked,
I
right?
think that's really counterproductive.
Bro, it should be
to our healing process,
Jacked.
to the way that we want to patrol and police our cities. So I just want us to simply wait on the facts. You got mental illness here. You got a lot of things going on. And so let us work that out. And I promise you, you know, we're transparent here. We'll get it to you. Go ahead. Thanks.
Why she's using aliases, but for motivation?
Oh, I don't know. All we can do is that's part of the process, and we're just 24 hours into it. You know, there was a lot of discussion, and I was in social media with some professional reporters and investigators, and some that's not so. So we're just here to present the facts as we know at this time.
Other things she's been charged with in the past, or is it?
Yeah, we don't know at this time. We're still working on it. Go ahead, and then we'll come right here, and then you, and then back around. Go ahead.
Many off-duty officers between HPD, TABC, other agencies that were already at the church, and between those two officers who opened fire, do we know which one of the two or both of them actually took the suspect down, and as well as who shot the 7?
That's part of the investigation. I know that both of them did discharge, but give us some time to review the videos, and you know, whatever we have by our officers, body worn cameras, we'll put that out within 30 days. So,
Do you know how many officers were already at the church working detail duty?
Yes, they were actually working there.
No, but how many total besides?
I don't know right now. We'll yeah. Hold up.
Chief, have you uncovered any direct connection between the suspect and Lakewood Church at this point? Perhaps divorce counseling she may have been undergoing?
We don't know. That's part of the investigation, and that's something too that we will share right here, and then we'll work our way back around to you. Go ahead.
This suspect was
I got you.
on law enforcement's radar. Is there any indication that police had more opportunities to intervene in other ways sooner?
You saying on that radar? That what does that mean? And I just I don't want to cut you off, but I don't know if that's an accurate. But she did have a history, if you want to say that. But there are millions upon top of millions of people who have a history. And to your question and answering it, the response is that we all need to continue to work together. Neighbors, family members, getting that information up to us in a timely manner where we can be proactive and prevent it. I think that's where you're going, but I just don't have all the facts right now. Go ahead, sir.
The grandmother in the house with the suspect, was she taken into custody this morning or just transported to the hospital?
No, I think she was possibly transported to the hospital. Let me say this, and according to my commander, she and a few other members have been really cooperating with the investigation, and that's why I asked for prayers for everybody. Can you imagine what family members are going through? Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Yeah.
Yesterday, I know this question was asked, but I want to circle back on it. It's the idea of how the young boy was shot, was hit with a bullet. I know it's difficult to talk about, but can you explain to us how that went down? Was
Terrible.
she using him as a shield? Was he
Yeah,
supported under
I don't know right now. Again, once we have a chance to view that video, and y'all know,
Chief of Police,
whatever we have to show, we'll show it, but we just don't know right now. Another question that comes up, and let's be out front with it. Was it the police officers who shot her, or was it her? We don't know. And I think the worst thing that we can do is speculate on something as important as that. Once we get the evidence in and ballistics and all that, I think we'll know that. Let me get to him and I'll get back to you, Mark. Go ahead.
The
Yep.
suspect who brought the child, identified as the child's biological mother, the child who was shot and critically injured.
That's what, yes. Okay.
Chief, who's the security guard employed by? Can you give us the name?
I don't know. We'll let you know on that. I don't know right now. Go ahead.
What's the history of the two long guns in this case? How did she purchase them?
We don't know. That's part of the investigation, and I think it's a very important part of the investigation. We need to know where and how, all that, and why. Yeah. So, yeah. Did you need to say something? Okay, I'll get it out the end. Okay.
Was there any point where she had a reference of a bomb that she had on her?
She did, and I can answer that. She did, and that we stated that yesterday, and we'll state it again today. She did threaten that she had a bomb on her person. Okay, let me get her on the corner right here. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Just to follow up on the gun question and to clarify, so did she actually own those guns? Had had she taken those guns from another legal owner?
That's part of the investigation, but I was pretty sure that she purchased one, and you can speak to the facts of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
We're still conducting the trace on that, but we do know that the one that she did utilize was, from what we can tell, purchased in December legally.
December, like
All right.
2 months ago?
Yeah, we'll get two more. Let me get somebody I hadn't heard from. Go ahead.
When will people be allowed to get back into the church to get their bags, vehicles? Are people able to do anything?
The vehicles that are still being processed over there, we'll send that out in coordination with our investigators, with Lakewood officials as well. But we'll get that out as soon as we can. Okay, give me two more. Go ahead.
Was there any indication, Chief or the Commander, from your investigation thus far, that there had been a direct threat or concern within the confines of Lakewood, that emails or what have you regarding this woman and that?
No, sir.
You mentioned the writings. You mentioned the writings and stickers. Was the shooter at all wearing any type of garb or any kind of messaging on the body?
I really don't know right now, and we'll it's 24 hours. When we determine it, we'll share it with you. Okay. Last one.
Who's this? Who's this gentleman? Is he? Oh, is this? Yeah, he's the chief.
In recent years, has HPD ever done a security audit or any other type of work?
We always, and not only churches, all religious institutions. We have a strong relationship with all of them, and you see, here's the goal, and here's the deal in this great city. Tragedy happens, and what I've seen in 34 years of service, a lifetime resident, with a few exceptions, years to college. Whenever something happens, we come back stronger and better. And this is what we play. This is why you see so many people up here and so many people in the back, including our mayor, including our other elected officials. Our congresswoman is here. We're going to be better, but in the way of getting better, building stronger relationships, communicating every day. And please, community and everybody, stop putting people in boxes, okay? That's counterproductive. Good people should line up with good people, whatever faith, whatever community, and all of us working together. And that's what we tend to do. But look, it's been a long day and especially for my investigators. And let me acknowledge them. I know they're somewhere in the room for the hard work all of our homicide investigators do each and every day. But thank y'all for being here, and we tried to answer much as we could. So thank y'all. All right.
Good job.
All right, we just heard from Houston Police Chief Troy Finner. You could see a lot of law enforcement there, a lot of the leaders there as well. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee and also John Whitmire, the new mayor, started in January on the left side. Now, one of the big key takeaways is the fact that this lady actually brought her 7-year-old son. She is the biological mother for the 7-year-old who was shot in the head, currently fighting for his life. Now, we did hear from Christopher Hassig, who's with the Houston Police Department. He gave us a timeline of what all happened. So we do know that at 1:53 p.m. yesterday, so we're going on just over 24 hours since this happened. So
like a
don't have that much
no-nonsense
information,
type of
but I
guy.
do want to give you exactly what they did release to us. So an individual pulls out a 7-year-old child in the back seat and confronts a security guard. At 1:55, immediately starts firing on the west side of the church in the hall. Now, Officer Moreno, who was one of the officers, the other one was a TABC agent, they returned fire. Now, all of this again happening on the west side of the building. Now, multiple shots were exchanged, and we do know that the suspect, Genesse Moreno, who's actually used multiple aliases, both male and female, went to the ground. We do know that the 7-year-old boy was shot in the head. Now, the big question that many people are asking, obviously, was it the police officers that actually shot him in the head, or was she using him as a shield? Did she do something? They said that it's way too early to tell, and they don't know yet. Now, Genesse Moreno used multiple aliases. Like I said, she did have an AR-15. It's also important to note there is no motive that has been released yet, but they did say that she had Palestine written on the rifle. She also had a .22 caliber rifle in her bag that she had. Also, some anti-Semitic writings were uncovered during the process of them looking through her car, which they have in their possession, that is, they being the police officers. They do say that she acted alone. And you were looking at several mugshots that we're able to pull up. She does have a mental health history documented by the Houston Police Department. Now, the investigators also said that there was some sort of a dispute between the ex-husband and ex-husband's family, who are Jewish. So a lot to unpack here, and we're bringing you this live. We just heard from the press conference that started around 1:31, and we do know that 7-year-old is fighting for his life right now. So law enforcement asking for your prayers, and I do invite you to go ahead and download the Fox Local app, because there we have a lot of exclusive content that you can see right now on your smart TV. It's free to download, and we'll also have
All right. Well, that's really what we got in this case. Oh, by the way, before I go off air, I just want to do a quick update on a case that I did follow back in August. And this is the case of Rachel Morin. And there has been a sketch that has been released 6 months after her brutal murder, mother of 5. And this was out in Maryland on a hiking trail. So sketch of suspect of Rachel Morin's murder released 6 months after mom of 5 was killed on a hiking trail. And I remember there's some video of a guy that the DNA that they found on Rachel, this DNA matched up to a unidentified person. And they actually have video of this person leaving a house that was also part of another assault out in California. So there was an assault out in California, and the same person assaulted and killed Rachel Morin out in Maryland. And I wanted to play this little video if anybody was watching that case or knows about that case. And hopefully we get a breakthrough here soon, because it's been almost 6 months. All right, let's play this here.
We'll take a good look. Do you recognize the man in this sketch? Well, he's the man wanted for the murder of Rachel Morin, found dead on the Mon Pa Trail in Bel Air in
That's
August.
the video.
WJZ is live at 5. Stefan Dingles on your corner in Bel Air with the latest on this high-profile case. Stefan.
Hey, Nikki, good evening to you. This sketch right here is the biggest lead in the case so far. This is the man that they're looking for in hopes of bringing closure to the family of Rachel Morin. 6 months after Rachel Morin, a mother of 5, was murdered on the Mon Pa Trail in Bel Air, authorities released this sketch Monday morning. It's a sketch of the mystery suspect who, with the help of witnesses, a short video, and an artist, helped manifest the new lead in the case.
We've talked to a number of witnesses who have seen people that we know are similar in build and description to the video that we released and appear similar to the sketch. Those people saw this individual in the weeks, I would say, last 2 weeks in July leading into August, in and around that area.
Our public has asked for seeing the video where the individual never turns and faces toward the camera.
Authorities are releasing new details about the day of the murder, saying the suspect plotted and planned his brutal attack on Morin in August of 2023, just a few months after a home invasion and assault in Los Angeles.
When this suspect attacked Rachel, he pulled her over to that culvert. We believe it happened fairly quickly due to the witnesses we have in the area.
I think so too, Rochelle.
So obviously he knew that the culvert was there.
Authorities say the area where Rachel's body was found was 70 to 80 yards off the trail, which signifies the careful planning of the suspect. But thankfully, witnesses helped police connect the dots.
We know that he was in the area minutes before this and was standing in an area where he could observe the trail, and then positioned himself in a place where he could not only attack Rachel, but could remove her from the trail and make it so that she wouldn't be seen by any other people passing in the area.
No one has suggested anything to us that we weren't already aware of. But I say keep those suggestions coming.
The interest in this case has gone national, if not international, with this suspect linked to a crime in California. The reward money in this case has now risen to $35,000, and authorities hope it will keep the case hot.
I pray that this doesn't become a cold case, and I was asked that question earlier today.
DNA
We're far from it, and again, I think the tips that come in, some of which show some promise. So hopefully, we'll get that tip that we need. The next press conference can be one of closing this case.
Seriously.
And again, this is another good sketch of this suspect. Take a good look here. The authorities, the deputies in the sheriff's office behind me say that tips have been pouring in since this morning. Now the hope is for a name. Hopefully, if they get the name of this man, they're able to track him down and hopefully solve the case. We're on your corner in Bel Air tonight. I'm Stefan Dingle for WJZ.
All right. Well, a little bit of an update in Rachel Morin's case. Okay. I think that's going to end tonight's little broadcast. I'm going to be doing some more Nicholas Rossi. Depending on the weather tomorrow, I'll probably stream a lot tomorrow. I'll do a couple of cases. We're supposed to get whacked here in the New England area with snow in Massachusetts, in my area. So pending that, I may be doing a lot of streaming tomorrow if I don't lose power and all that fun stuff. But I know I want to continue with Nicholas Rossi. I'm going to be doing some more Brian Walsh case. And, if anything pops up as far as Karen's case, I'll be talking about that and talking about Turtle Boy. I did have a conversation with Aiden the other night. Him and I are planning something here for his return, probably in March. And it's going to be big, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be awesome. And we're both very excited about it. And there'll be more details about that coming out soon. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. Just look out. I'll have some streams up pretty soon. I appreciate it. Everybody, if you're just catching this on now, you can go back and rewind if you're interested in this case and you want to follow through. I would appreciate it. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe, like, and share my content. I'm Brian. This is LTL True Crime, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.
LTL True Crime, we go deep in the dark, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden marks, from the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL True Crime, unraveling the web of evil, no stone left unturned, we dive into the prime. Yeah, we digging up the dirt, bringing justice to the crime. LTL True Crime, unveiling dark realities every time. Yeah, LTL True Crime, we going deep in the dark, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden march, from the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting in the minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL True Crime, unraveling the web of evil, no stone left unturned, we dive into the prime. Yeah, we digging up the dirt, bringing justice to the crime. LTL True Crime, unveiling dark realities every time. LTL True Crime, we go deep in the dark, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden marks, from the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL True Crime, unraveling the web of evil, no stone left unturned, we dive into the prime. Yeah, we digging up the dirt, bringing justice to the crime. LTL True Crime, unveiling dark realities every time. Yeah, LTL True Crime, we going deep in the dark, peeling back the layers, expose the hidden mark, from the streets to the alleys where the secrets lie, getting into minds of the wicked, no alibi. LTL True Crime, unraveling the web of evil, no stone left unturned, we dive into the prime. Yeah, we digging up the dirt, bringing justice to the crime. LTL True Crime, unveiling dark realities every time.